Hey everybody, it's your man Type coming to you with another true spook story. Now, before we begin, let me ask that you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share me if you're feeling the content. Let's begin. Now, this story is going to take place in the Orlando, Florida area where I'm from. And today, this story is about me. Yes, me. I'm going to jump on into this story because it's a little emotional, a little nasty if you see what I'm trying to say. And it's all around bullshit and crazy. But there is a silver lining as always. Well, I had to be about 26 to 29 years old, and roughly in between that. I had started dating this girl who was from New Orleans, Louisiana. She used to boast about being from the Ninth Ward and things. This is when Juvenile, Master P, No Limit Soldiers was out really heavy. So, yeah, so now that they had some representation in the South, she was repping it. That's where she from. She Nola made and all, saying all this kind of stuff about Nola, Nola, Nola. So I liked her accent. She had a, big ass, hips, a little, full-figured chick with a pigeon-toed kind of walk. And, she stood back on her legs, bow-legged like, freaked me out, a little odd to the senses, So I stepped to her, hollered at her, was like, yeah, what it is, whoop, whoop. And so when she came out there, she was charmed by the boy, So we end up messing around. So I messed around with her for about, I messed around with her for about like 6-7 months. So then she started having problems with her mama now. So I say, okay then, well, I'm dealing with you, I'm in love almost, chilling, I say let me get a spot and I'll move you in. I should have known something crazy or someone right with this girl, because she was also happy to let me move in with her. But at the time, I was a little young, dumb, and just, mesmerized by the body that I really wasn't thinking too good. So if I would have been thinking, I would have said, now why is a girl this attractive living in her mama house in a garage-like area, a garage that would turn into a room for her and her 3 kids at the time? And I'm like, why ain't nobody else yanked this chick up? But I wasn't thinking like that. That's an older man thought process. The younger man, they just like pussy, pussy, pussy. So I'm like, damn. So I'm all head over heels. JJ trapped me. My mind is damn JJ trapped. So I said, okay, cool. Go out there, get a place in this apartment complex named Lake Man Gardens Apartments off of Ivy Lane Road. Now, this girl, she had no money. She had no job. She just had a banging ass body and a great sex game. So I'm like, damn, I'm gonna do it. This is my forever chick. I'm gonna deal with what I gotta deal with, do what I gotta do, because I like this chick here. She it. Going to the clubs, met her at the clubs. Let me go to titty bars. I'm getting lap dances with her and her little girlfriends and shit. A nigga living the life. So cool. Moving into the crib. Get the crib. I say, so you gonna put your name on the lease and, put the lights in your name at least. And she didn't want to do none of that. No, I don't want the lights in my name. No, I don't want to be on the lease. I don't want me and my kids to be on the lease. None of that there. I trust you. We cool. We rocking. Again, I didn't see the signs. I'm so head over heels with this chick. I ain't see shit that was going on or anything the chick had. I'm just stuck and sprung, right? So again, I done did everything. Got the apartment in my name. Got the lights in my name, water in my name, gas, whatever came to it. Only thing that wasn't in my name was her car, because she had bought her own car. She had got it insured. She had did her own thing there. And I had my own whip too, so shit was cool. So now we living together, cohabitating. And we living together about 4 5 months. I'm taking care of her kids. So I'm in that bitch chilling. So I took a job because I was working at a furniture company installing office furniture and things. So I took a job where we were gonna be in Palatka and South Florida for like months at a time. So I got to come home on the weekend, but Monday morning I need to be at the job site location. They even let me take the company truck home with me, company van. So I'm sitting up there chilling, enjoying myself. Boom, everything. Got the money. Didn't never suspect anything. Didn't think nothing was going on with the chick. Now, every weekend I came home, this chick would feed me the same dish every fucking day. She would have enough for like 2 3 days. Okay? Keep in mind, I'm coming home on the weekend, like every weekend, staying 1 day, probably 2 days, depending on the workload. But once a month, we get to come home and stay like 2 3 days, and I'm saving my per diem, eating on a budget, saving my per diem. So when I come home, I could go buy her some shit called Cherry Bomb Louis Vuitton purses, cigarette wallet, coin purse, and the bitch didn't even smoke cigarettes. So, I was fucked up. People, listen to me good. I'm transparent as fuck in my stories. So I'm doing everything for this girl, everything. So coming home, chilling and everything, she could feed me the same fucking food, the Polish sausage and tomato sauce, rolled down real good on a bed of rice with some cornbread. Man, let me tell you, that's my favorite meal of all time. I still won't eat it to this day. I won't even cook it for my motherfucking self. But I'll let y'all know what's going on with that. So, as I'm coming home and she feeding the shit to me, I noticed our relationship getting real bad. And she talking to me any kind of way, saying any kind of thing. She like, well, I'm home for the weekend. She darting out the door with her people, with her friends and shit. And her friend, her friend had the same name as her mama, like Karen or something like that. In the Karens, Carolyn, Karen, but I know they had the same name as their mother. So she was going out with her friends. She'll pick a little fight with me, haul ass out the door. Then when she walk in the door, I'm all half asleep, tired. And I'm just like, okay, cool. She home. Let's just fuck, go to sleep, enjoy each other. I'm trying to keep down the argument. So she'll come home, hit the shower, get in the bed, do little quick apologies, get up in the morning, fix a nigga little eggs and toast and shit, and I'm happy. I'm living the life again. So this went on like that for like 3 4 months while I'm working out of town and this chick here. It never crossed my mind that this chick got the whole apartment to herself, her and her 3 kids, the whole time while I'm out of city working in a whole nother part of Florida, making the money. And she didn't work, so I'm taking care of her, putting money in her purse, dressing the kids, dressing everything. Well, the bullshit started to hit the fan around by June of that year. I still can't remember the year. So around by June of that year, because it was cold, then it got a little start warming up. But around by June, it had really got hot. And around by June of that year, we went down there to Miramar, Florida, and we had got done real quick. So as we got done, I said, well, can I haul ass and go home quick? They like, yeah, man, take off. We done. This is a vacation now. We just finna hit the water, look at some of the Spanish holes and shit like that. And I mean, because it was a bunch of brothers. So we in South Florida. It is what it is. People don't judge. Yeah, we finna take the day off. We down here on company down for the next 4 days. You gotta take the van home and shit, chill. We ain't gonna let nobody know. Just don't get in no accident, because we still on company time. You still getting paid. So I come home on a surprise visit. Now I'm gonna tell y'all the shit that led up to this, but I'll tell y'all the creepy and the spooky shit in a second. I gotta paint the picture for you. So I come home during the week. Now this is a Wednesday. We finished everything Tuesday. So I got all the way until Friday, Saturday, next Monday. The truck had to be back to the office. So I come home early. We in South Florida, so I done loaded the whole goddamn van up with coconut. I'm finna be eating coconut juice and coconut meat for a long time, you know. I'm looking up recipes how to make anything coconutty. Man, so I get there and I like open my door. I got my dirty laundry with me and shit like that on my back. I open my apartment door. All the kids gone to school, gone whatever, I don't know. So I walk in the house and I put my bag down by the door, look at the little mail. I'm hearing, so I'm here in the bed getting it. I'm hearing little moans and groans. Still, it ain't hit me that this chick could be in here getting about 10 inches of dick laid up in her by anybody. I'm thinking, okay, she watching the porn because she watching the porn because I ain't here. She working herself up, waiting on me to get here on the weekend to tear that thing down. Man, tell me why. When I went in that motherfucking door, I seen a neighborhood dude that everybody know his name was Smoke. Man, the dude had my then old lady bent up on a bed on her back with her legs touching the headboard with his whole pelvis damn near in her shit. A position she said that when I did it, I had too much cock, and this nigga doing it. So I'm like, the fuck? And again, people, I'm transparent as fuck. I'm a real nigga here. Now you talking to a real nigga. I was a street nigga at that time, real nigga. And I'm petty. So I sat up there and the dude was hammering her ass so hard, and I ain't gonna lie, I got that little voyeuristic shit going on with me. I stood there for a second, touched on myself a little bit, but it ain't lasting but like 5-10 seconds. Don't judge. So I'm watching the cat just hammer away, and I'm like, oh wow, nigga got stroke game. And then after I'm watching it, I was gonna enjoy it like a porn, but then all of a sudden I say, hold up, this the same position the bitch say that hurt when I put her in, and this nigga got her. So then I cleared my throat. Both of them look up. She like, oh my God, what you doing here? I say, this my shit. I say, what he doing here? And Smoke look at me and Smoke like, tight nigga, what it is? I say, bitch, you greet me nicely? He like, oh no, this shit. He say, no, man, me and V, we been cool. We been fucking for a minute, bro. I ain't even know y'all was in here fucking up. I seen your picture, but then she said it was cool because you just was a paymaster or something. I said, oh, that what it is? Now we having a whole little conversation with like 30 seconds to a whole minute with his shit still in him. I say, bitch, get up off the bed, nigga. So I'm talking shit. Now I'm in my little jealous feeling. Bitch, get your shit up out my old lady, fuck, nigga. I swear to God, people, and let me tell you something. I do not have a problem, one way or the other. I'm very secure in my manhood. But when this motherfucker stepped off the bed from being in my then girlfriend, I swear the motherfucker was able to put one foot on the bed, on the floor, slide over a little bit with his shit still up in her. And I said, what the fuck? And people, I know I'm blessed. But this nigga was a monster. The bitch was a monster. I'm blessed now, but the boy was a monster, y'all. The motherfucker, after he's put one foot on the ground, one knee on the bed, still in him, the motherfucker had to scoot back a little bit, and he said, oh, my bad. His shit flop out, bomb, hit his thigh. I'm in a maze, like, this whole taking all of this me in a position she said that it hurt when I put her in. And my shit was probably, this bitch had at least a extra 3 inches on him than I got. So I was like, no, hell no. So I got upset with her due to the whole fact that, not because she was cheating, because a real nigga status here. The bitch is a bitch back in the day. You know how I go. The simple fact that she let him do something to her that she didn't let me do to her. It was a problem. So now I'm heated. I say, okay, bitch, I'm finna kill y'all. So, I walked out the house, went back to the truck. I went and got my machete out the back of the work truck. So as I'm walking back in the house to chop their ass up, I see them tiptoeing and running out the back door. She got her shoes and her motherfucking purse and shit in her hand, and he running out there with his holding his shit in his hand with his shoe, and they just tiptoeing around the corner. I could have chased them, but I was like in shock. So I went and I sat on the couch in the living room. I ain't even closed the door. So I'm sitting on the couch in the living room for about 2-3 days. I ain't moved, I ain't pissed, I ain't shit. The food on the stove had done got dried out, the same food like she was cooking. I guess she was cooking for him too. So I just sat up there until the people, for 2-3 days. So the truck had to be back at the shop on a Monday. And I missed that Monday morning. So they drove to my house. They seen the van. They knocked on the door and they were like, dude, what the hell? You just sitting up here Terminator style. And I told them what was going on. Of course, the brothers laughed at me and shit. But, ultimately they helped me snap out of that shit. Now, I'm going to leave it at that right there. That's the traumatic part. Now, here go the mystical, creepy, whatever you want to call it, part of this story. So, I'm all depressed, so I go to my grandma's house. My grandma like, baby, what's wrong? I ain't want to tell her what was going on, because knowing grandma would have went over there to the girl's house and cursed her out for hurting her grandbaby. So I just sat out down to grandma, laid down. Grandma knew something was wrong, but I ain't tell her because I ain't want grandma to get loose. So then I go to my mama's house, and I'm hanging out with my mama and shit, and I'm feeling sad and depressed there too. So I'm laying on the edge of my mama's bed. So finally, I told my mama what went on. Because she say, how you and V? I say, I'm all right, mama. I say, well, I'm going to leave V alone because something happened, and I don't want to. She say, oh, she cheated on you? I say, yes, ma'am. But I say it was a little bit more than that. I called her. And she was like, I told you that girl wasn't no good. She from New Orleans. They practice black magic. I say, I understand, mama. I say, but I ain't never see her do no black magic and shit like that. I say, I don't think she did nothing. So now grandmama rush over there in the house. Grandma say, Pat, bring Tyke ass here. So my mama come get me off the bed. Your grandma wants you. So I walk downstairs, talk to grandma. And grandma said, here, drink this. And I say, what is it? She say, drink this, boy. So whatever she had me drinking, I'm going to tell you, it tasted like a Alka-Seltzer, like a Sprite, a Alka-Seltzer, but it had some kind of aloe vera bitter taste at the end of the motherfucker, right? And she said, keep drinking it. And I said, grandma, I can't. It hurt to go down. She said, keep fucking drinking it, nigga. Yes, ma'am. So I had to drink about 20 ounces of this shit. And she said, get your ass upstairs. And she said, don't leave this house no more today. I'll be back tomorrow to work on you some more. And I'm sitting up there, stomach full, can't eat, I'm burping. And I laid down at the foot of my mama's bed again. So my mama come over and my mama say, son, she said, you don't smell good. And she said, you always smell like cologne. Because my mama used to be like Morris Chestnut, because I used to be a fly dress up shirt, tie, suit, suspenders. So on my off days. So she used to always be like, my son is a Morris Chestnut and that thing. So she was like, son, you always smell good. You don't smell good. Your body scent ain't now. I'm like, yeah, mom. I said, I took a shower. I say, I don't know what it is. I say, maybe it's the food I'm eating. She say, what food? I say, before I left the house, I ate some food. And I say I ate the Polish sausage and rice and cornbread that I had cooked. And she said, is it red? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, oh, my God. My mama say, so my mama picked up the phone and she called my grandma back over there. She say, mama, I know what's wrong with him. And my grandma like, what? And grandma say, that girl done fed him some cuckoo soup. And she say, the bitch did what? So my grandma get off work, float back over there around by 5:30. Her car smelling like tobacco, coffee, and Liz Claiborne perfume. That's how my grandma smelled, I swear to God. So grandma come back over there. The bitch did what? And she came up there and she started slapping me in the back of the head. Pow, pow, pow. Tyke, didn't I tell you not to eat anything red from them bitches? I knew that whole one shit. And didn't you say her mama them from New Orleans? That shit full of them nasty bitches that do that type of shit. How the fuck you put your period in a nigga motherfucking food? And she said, do you ever eat some eggs she cooked? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, well, they scrambled? Yes, ma'am. She said, that bitch probably pissed in them. Oh, that nasty hoe. She said, we gonna fix that bitch. We gonna fix that bitch. And I said, Grandma, leave her alone. And she said, shut up. You're stupid right now for her. So Grandma slapped me in the back of the head a couple more times. And then she sent me upstairs to pray. She told me to she brought some more of this shit for me to drink, and she said, Pat, make sure he fucking drink it. So my mama nursing me, making sure I drink this horrible shit. So I'm thinking I'm at 40 ounces of the shit now in less than 2 days. So this shit is disgusting. And I ain't eating no food. They won't let me eat no burger, no fries, no shit. So all of a sudden, my mama come in the room and she lay her hand on my stomach. And she started praying on my stomach really hard. And she calling out Jesus. She calling out everything. And she started shaking my stomach like, bitch, I'm like, Mom, I'm finna throw up. Stop it. It's annoying. And I just got mad and started cursing everybody out around me. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Stop fucking touching me. And I never curse at my mama, let alone my grandma. And I hate everybody. I hate my sister. I hate my brother. I hate everybody. And I'm, fuck y'all bitches. Y'all get on my nerve. And I'm saying some demonic screaming shit, right? So all of a sudden, after she got through praying on me for like 25 minutes, because it took like 3 or 4 people to hold me down, because she had a bunch of people from the neighborhood. Stanley, Red, he had freckles. And I think it was another dude, Jerome or something. They came to help me down while she did it. So now I feel like, okay, they beat me up. So I go in the bathroom and I run and I start acting like I got to throw up. I dry heave, but nothing comes up. Then I go outside and sit on the stairs. As soon as I went outside and sit on the stairs, and my grandma was downstairs watching all this waiting, she said, take a deep breath. And I said, okay. I sucked in so much air. I'm going to say it took about 30 seconds. I sucked in that much air, people. That's a lot. As soon as I sucked in all that air, so much came out of me. I threw up some shit that was silver. It was silver. It was chunky. It was pink and it was green. It was just the horriblest thing that came up out of my stomach. And let me tell you, when you throw up a lot. But this shit was extreme. If I had to measure how much throw up came out of me, I can fill up I can fill up a mid-range pot with that bitch, man. And it just kept on coming. My throat was on fire. My stomach was on fire. The back of my teeth was on fire. The front of my gums was on fire. And my grandma was down there, throw it up, get that shit up out you. And grandma kept coming over there like slapping the back of my back, not hard to make me choke, but just like beating the demon out of me. So after I threw up and I thought I was done, she said, you ain't done, let's get that whole shit up out you. And she handed me a bottle of his drink, and I couldn't drink because my throat was so sore. And she grabbed my face and she shoved that shit down there. Drink, god damn it, get that whole shit up out you. And I'm guzzled down another 20 ounces of this shit. Oh man, now I'm throwing up some more. And I was out there about 30 minutes throwing up. So throwing up for 30 minutes out there and shit, then it started getting down to the yellow shit when you throw up. When you get to the yellow, that's just stomach acid. You ain't got shit in you. That's just we call that shit the vapor, boy, because when you throw up and you get to that yellow shit, boy, you are empty. That's the bitch, though. So we got there. I was on fire. And she said, now you're clean. And she said, rinse your mouth out. I couldn't walk up the stairs. I was weak. I couldn't do nothing. They toted me upstairs, laid me down on the floor, covered me up, and they left 2 bottles of Mountain Dew soda next to me. So I slept on my mama floor for 3 days. Ain't nobody touch me. Ain't nobody say nothing to me. I missed work 3 days. Nothing. So after all of that, my grandma come over there. She say, "Is he up yet?" I could hear her talking, but I couldn't move. And he say, "No, he ain't moved." She said, "Give him 24 more hours." So she come over there again. Say, "Okay." Now, here is the mystical part of that shit. We know what the chick did. So the mystical part of that shit. So at the pile where I threw up all the shit, grandma had put a towel down and told nobody in the neighborhood to touch it. So we had dried up in the soil in 3 days. So grandma walks me down there. She takes some kerosene people, some Florida water, and she take a match and she put some salt. She make a salt ring. Kerosene, Florida water, and table salt. Made a salt ring around the puddle that I threw up in, all the shit in the dirt. And she said, "Tyke, you have to burn this shit." So I had enough strength to make it downstairs, and I was getting my strength back slowly but surely. So she said she had mixed the potion, the kerosene and Florida water together, which is don't smell good, people. And she say, "Strike the match." And I did not want to strike the match. "Strike it, damn it." And she hit me in the head. Pop. So I struck the match and threw it down there. Let me tell you, my throw up mixed with all that shit, it turned blue, then it turned white, then it turned green, and then it turned hot pink. And it was smoking. And I swear the smoke had faces in it. And my grandma was taking pictures with the Polaroid camera. And I wish I could find those pics, but I know my auntie Deborah has them. She's the record keeper of the family. And all the faces in the smoke, because they still talk about it today. And grandma was like, "See, that hoe done rooted you. She fed you that bitch." She say that bitch fed you her pussy juice when that bitch was bleeding. And say, "You done ate all that shit and you been eating that shit probably for 9 months since she met you. I thought that was odd, your silly ass over there taking care of her and the kids, and the bitch didn't work. You working yourself to the bone and she could talk to you like that." And she say, "You learned your lesson now?" I say, "Yes, ma'am." She say, "No, you didn't." I say, "I did, grandma." And she like, "Huh?" So she say, "Is that hoe still in your house?" I say, "I haven't been there in a week, grandma." She like, "Let's go over there." So I done took a shower. Now I'm feeling my energy. I take a shower, I go over there. So my grandma knock on the door, and the chick V come to the door and be like, "What you want?" And she like, "Your stupid ass grandson ain't here." And she say, "I know, bitch, he in the car with me." And my grandma pulled out some mace, and she hit her in the face with it. Ski. So when the girl fell back, grandma went in there, and grandma went to all the places. She had tied my socks. She had tied my drawers. She had me tied up all over the house. Grandma instantly knew to seek them bitches out, and she put all that shit in a trash bag, and she drugged that shit out the house while the girl was on the ground screaming and crying. She took it back over there to my mama apartment complex. In the same place where I burned the throat, where she had me burn the throw up, she ended up burning all of the drawers and the socks and shit and all of the shit she had collected from me throughout time. And grandma was like, "See, this is why you don't trust them bitches, and you never eat anything red from them bitches. So you never do it. These hoes trap you nowadays, and they want you to do for them, and they don't want to do for you, and they'll have you fucked up. Like, not my motherfucking grandson." So the lady called the police on my grandma. And my grandma, she got weight here in Orlando. She know the sheriff, the mayors, and all that stuff at the time. So she got a little weight. So when they came and they knew what she did, because she had helped some of them get their careers, doing a little, root work for them. So when they came, they like, "Hey, Gunju?" "Yeah." Say, "That bitch rooted my grandson." So they looked at her, and I promise you, people, I can't make this shit up. They ended up running her license, running her name, found out this lady had a warrant in Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana, since she was 19, 20 years old. Then she told me she was like my same age, around by 32, when they ran her name, because she had 2 birth certificates, 2 social security numbers, 2 all of that. When they ran her name, they found out this lady had me by at least 10 years. This bitch was looking young. She had me by at least 10 years. So she was in her 40s, and I'm like in my early 20s or something. I'm in late 20s and 30s. This lady all the way up in her mid 40s. So they were like, so they finally took her to jail, and she had a warrant for running toes and all that shit here. I didn't know that. So that's why she didn't want to put nothing in her name, and that's why she had rooted me. And she had did this a lot. Now, the other person she did this to, and I got to tell a story about this one right here. This is probably going to be the next one. And I'll have a friend vouch for this one right here. So her baby daddy, who she had kids from, I met him at a park on a Thursday. This man was dead on Friday. Don't know what it is. And this happened recently, people. Less than 4 months ago of today. How you listen to this video. But I'll tell you about that story later. But yeah, so after grandma got through working with her, I used to see her. All her teeth was falling out. They was turning brown. And she had a nice smile. It's like she had to go get dentures. It's like grandma was making her look her age. Grandma had did some shit like some time reverse magic on her ass. The police actually ran her license, took her to jail, and she sat up in that bitch for like 6 months in jail until she got a bond or whatever. But yeah, grandma fixed that bitch for me. That's another true spook story. I still see her today. She got with a dude, a younger guy, tried that shit on him, and she probably cuckooed him up too. And he beats her ass every day to this day. And they've been together like 9 years, and he'll steal her money, take her car. Everything she did to me, he doing it to her. And she saw me, she like, how you doing? I saw her at the corner store. She still living the same shitty ass projects. And I saw her at the corner store, and I'm like, what's going on, pimpin'? And she like, how you been? You want to come hang out? And I'm like, I'm straight. Like I'm supposed to forget the shit she did. So that's the story. I want to say her name, but I know she got a friend that watched this channel. They may know her, and they may be like, I didn't know she did this. But yeah, your friend did that to you, boy. My grandma had to do that time she got maced. That was my grandma skeeting that fucker in the face for putting the root on me. So yeah, people, she had rooted your boy tight, and grandma had to come save the day. And now my grandma and my mama worked in tandem to get that shit off of me. So if you could take anything away from this story, people, once you get that shit up out you, somebody feed you some cuckoo soup and you get it up out you, it ain't just good enough to have it blessed up out you. You got to burn that shit, kerosene and Florida water with a ring of salt around the puddle. And anything that person tied, you burn it all together. I'm telling you, that's the only way to get free of that shit. I'm going to sign off on this motherfucker because this shit getting creepy and gross. All right, everybody, I'm Tyke. Telling you guys, be careful what you eat, because some shit truly can eat back at you. Take care, everybody. Stay safe.